We are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret society, opposed to secret oaths, opposed to secret proceedings, secret proceedings. No official of my administration, whether his rank is high or low, should interpret my words here tonight as an excuse to censor the news, to stifle dissent, to cover up our mistakes, or to withhold from the press and the public the facts they deserve to know.
Welcome to Conspiracy Corner Podcast, everyone. This is Abe, your host. I just got off work. It is 6 a.m., October 29th. I was going to actually cover the second part of the Madeleine Smith series that I'm doing for the month of October for Halloween. But we have some breaking news that's more conspiratorial, and I think it's more important to talk about. As much as I wish to do funner episodes like the Halloween ones, sadly I have to cover this insanity. Pretty chill night at work though, so I can't complain. Something had been brought to my attention earlier this week. Everyone apparently in the truth community has been reporting on the Fauci puppy experiments. And I have to kind of pat myself on the back because I covered that like 2 months ago. If you're watching on YouTube, I'll link it in the credits. If you don't know about the Fauci puppy experiments, pretty sick shit. But I did not realize that he had been doing experiments on monkeys. So that was something new that I found out. So that's what we're covering today. And we'll get into it. Alright, so let's get into this craziness. Now, this is from Involve. It's an article. Disturbing new report reveals Fauci's NIH gave, quote, toxic brain injections, unquote, to monkeys. Drilled holes in their skulls and implanted devices into their brains. So this is like some Jeffery Dahmer shit. For people who don't know, Jeffery Dahmer, famous serial killer, used to get younger men, young boys, and drill holes into their brains and in through their skulls and put either like boiling water or acid into their brain. Trying to turn them basically into like sex zombies. Yeah, so classy guy. This Anthony Fauci is a real good guy. Real good guy. Cracks me up, man. This dude is like people's fucking heroes, man. Dr. Anthony Fauci's NIH spent millions in taxpayer funds. Oh, so we're paying for this, by the way, just like the sick puppy experiments he was doing. On cruel and unusual experiments where scientists would, quote, cripple monkeys with toxic brain injections through implanted devices in their skulls, a disturbing new report reveals. The evil project has been funded by the NIH since at least 2018 and has received a whopping $16 million in taxpayer funds on torturous experiments that include and we'll get into that, but $16 million of our money, our hard-earned money with our sweat, tears, and blood spent on torturing monkeys. Pretty fucked up. Locking the monkeys alone in small cages, so isolating them, drilling holes into the monkeys' skulls, implanting head restraining devices, implanting electrodes into the monkeys' brains, so electrocuting their brains, injecting toxins that destroy the monkeys' brains, causing them to lose control of their limbs, mouths, and other body parts. TheGatewayPundit.com reports, during the investigation, the WCWP was also able to uncover shocking footage from Emory University Yerkes National Primate Research Center. So there you go. That's who it is right there. Emory University Yerkes National Primate Research Center, where some of this research was being conducted. The monkeys were locked in small cages and can be seen with head restraining devices sticking out of their skulls. The metal structures on the monkey's skull include an electrode that connects directly into the brain, which is what enables researchers to destroy certain areas with toxic chemicals. And it says, according to the video, there is a video, you can watch it yourself. If I had the technology, I'd play it for you, but in total, Yerkes NPRC holds over 4,000 primates that are used in frivolous and cruel experiments which are opposed by most Americans. The White Coat Waste Project filed a federal complaint following the discovery of the cruel experiments, in addition to the disturbing nature of the research. The group found that the NIH, along with the National Primate Research Centers, had committed several quote-unquote cost disclosure violations when they announced the plans for conducting the research. WCWP argues that the usage of taxpayer money on these experiments violates the Stevens Amendment. I'm going to have to look into that because I'm not sure about the Stevens Amendment. You can hit me up in the comments and let me know if you know anything about it, which is a long-standing federal law that requires the publishing of detailed press releases or statements that describe the project and include specific accounting for taxpayer funds. Now, this is from the WCWP's report. WCW has filed a complaint with the National Institutes of Health after uncovering cost disclosure violations by all 7 national primate research centers, the nation's largest tax-funded monkey labs, imprisoning a combined total of 22,000 primates. So 22,000 overall primates. And receiving more than $100 million annually. So $100 million of our taxpayer money. Nice, nice. I bet you didn't know you were funding that, did you? The nation's top taxpayer-funded monkey abusers have been violating a federal law requiring that they publicly disclose the cost of their cruel and wasteful experiments. Fauci's NIH is notorious for violating the act and has repeatedly made a mockery of the following its requirements. In 2016, 100 out of 100 experiments that they were awarded grants for committed public disclosure violations in one way or another. So literally 100%. 100 out of 100. The issue has not been fixed either. To this day, the NIH and its grantees have failed to correct the pattern. Well, yeah, I mean, they keep getting away with shit. And I see, honestly, Fauci getting away scot-free of everything he's doing now. I mean, the dude got away with all the lives that were wasted in the AIDS pandemic, which I didn't really know because I was too young at the time, and I didn't start researching Fauci until all of this nonsense that's going on now started happening. Yeah, but for the older generations, especially the homosexual community, I don't understand why they love this dude, knowing what he's done during the AIDS pandemic. Like, I was a kid, so I don't remember. I was too busy watching Ninja Turtles, man. I don't know, being a kid. But the older generation, I don't understand why they're like kissing this dude's butthole. The latest spending transparency violations come after the White Coat Waste Project found repeated Stevens Amendment violations by NIH grant-receiving institutions performing animal experiments in 2016. Out of 100 press releases that year on taxpayer-funded projects worth almost $250 million, none were in compliance with the amendment. So $250 million of taxpayer money. Earlier this year, the GAO, the Government Accountability Office, confirmed the Taxpayer Watchdog's report and called on HHS to enforce the law. In response, the department pledged to quote, direct all operating divisions to design a process for implementing and monitoring the Stevens Amendment. But the NIH and its grantees have failed to correct the pattern. Well, yeah, they keep getting away with it, once again. The toxic brain injection research is just one of the several concerning experiments that the NIH has greenlit with taxpayer funds. Some of the other concerning ways they have spent public dollars include turning monkeys into binge drinker alcoholics. Wow. That's fucked up too, because I'm sure a lot of these monkeys that I know it sounds funny, but had to probably go through detox and shit, which I've went through detox like a couple times from alcohol. The only way I can describe it is it's literally hell on earth. It is probably one of the worst things that you can go through. Like nightmares, sweats, cold chills, your body moving uncontrollably. It's fucking hell on earth, dude. 2. Surgically inducing heart attacks in monkeys. So, making them have heart attacks. I've never had a heart attack. I'm a younger dude, but it doesn't look very fun. Exposing monkeys to biological weapons. Number 3. Number 4. Intentionally threatening monkeys to cause fear and anxiety. So basically psychological warfare and or mental torture. 5. Psychologically tormenting baboons. And in 6, drilling into monkeys' skulls and injecting them with ADHD drug Ritalin. Why would you do that? Like, I understand if you're like testing Ritalin on monkeys in general, like giving it to them like orally, but I do not understand the purpose. Like, why do you need to drill into a monkey's skull and inject it with basically speed? I just want to hear like them bumble over words trying to, I don't know. I'm speechless. I don't even know how to respond to that. What would be the purpose of that? What are you learning from that? The sci-fi style brain implants in primates are just the latest segment of the Fauci horror show. Recently, it was uncovered that this sick monster also approved large sums of taxpayer money to fund abusive experiments on dogs. And I covered the whole dog thing on a earlier episode, which, like I said, if you're watching on YouTube, I'll leave it in the credits so you can catch up on that if you haven't seen it. If you are on YouTube, I'll just go ahead and do a little shout out to my other where else you can find me. And you'd rather listen audio form only. Some people do because it saves their phone batteries so they can listen while they're at work or whatever. You can find us on Breaker, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, Spotify, and Anchor. And that's the audio only format. And if you're an audio listener and you would want to put a face to a voice, essentially, and there is other non-podcast video content that I put out, you can find me on YouTube, BitChutes, HugeTube, and I think that's it. Let's see. The White Coat Waste Project was also the first to blow the whistle on that story. The group used the Freedom of Information Act to uncover several disturbing documents that detailed how Fauci and NIAID, in an effort to test the effectiveness of drug treatment, locked healthy beagle. Yeah, we're not going to get into, honestly, that because I've already covered that on a whole other episode. Typically, this level of unnecessary animal abuse warrants a severe psychological examination. But not for Fauci, the left's infallible woke priest of progressivism. Trust the science. But yeah, that is pretty fucked up. So that's something new that I learned, and I figured I'd share it with you all. Like I said, for the month of October, I wanted to focus just on paranormal episodes, true crime, like Halloween-related stuff. But sadly, there is no rest for the wicked, and they like to continue their shenanigans. And I have to report on them instead of doing what I wanted to do today and do a true crime episode. But yeah, we got some time, so I'll go ahead and share this other news that I found out today that I think is actually kind of funny, and it's a small win for us, maybe, but I found it interesting. It's Governor Beshear of Kentucky getting sued over mask mandates. So we'll leave on a good note. Bring you back up, you know. But like I said, hopefully this cheers you up a little bit after that depressing one. I do like to cover some local news every now and then, and just because I do pass out flyers within my area, so I get local listeners. Attorney working for Kentucky sues Beshear over mask policy. An attorney who works for Kentucky is suing Governor Andy Beshear after she was repeatedly disciplined for refusing to wear a mask in state office buildings. Dana Simmons, a staff attorney in Kentucky's Public Protection Cabinet, filed a lawsuit Friday against Beshear and other state officials. She alleged that Beshear and other defendants illegally imposed a mask mandate, quote, under the guise of policy, unquote. Even though Kentucky judicial rulings and lawmakers' actions limited Beshear's ability to issue a broader mask requirement. The mandate required everyone in executive branch buildings and offices, the various cabinets of state government over which Beshear has control, and in state vehicles to wear a mask when in public areas or when others are nearby. Man, that's one thing that drives me nuts, man, is seeing people drive alone in a vehicle wearing a fucking mask, dude. I swear to God, I feel bad for people who are dating at this time period. I'm so glad I'm married, you know. If my date arrived alone in a vehicle wearing a mask, I'm pretty sure I'd just get back in the car and fucking go home, dude. Be like, so are you gonna wear that mask while you blow me? Sorry. The Public Protection Cabinet said the mask mandate was part of its commitment to maintaining a safe and healthy work environment. Yeah, there you go. That's safe and healthy to have all your employees breathing in their own carbon dioxide. Which another point I want to make too, like you work for the devil. You work for the government. Yeah, the government is not the good guy. Sorry to burst your bubble, so I can't feel too bad for you, you know. But I do hope you win the lawsuit, though. To prevent the spread of the coronavirus, all state employees, customers, and visitors are required to wear a mask or face covering while in public areas or in the presence of another person of executive branch facilities. Cheryl Roberts-Pierre, a spokesperson for the Public Protection Cabinet, said in a statement to the Herald-Leader, quote, as with all personnel, safety policies, employees are expected to follow these guidelines to protect the health of their co-workers, families, and the public at large. In addition to Beshear, defendants in the lawsuit include Jarena Weathers, Secretary of the Personnel Cabinet, and Ray Perry, Secretary of the Public Protection Cabinet. The Personnel Cabinet and Public Protection Cabinet offices are also listed as defendants. Simmons is representing herself in the case. The complaint was filed in federal court in Frankfurt. Simmons said in her lawsuit that the mask policy for executive branch offices previously indicated vaccinated employees could work without a mask, but the policy was updated in July this year to require everyone to wear a mask regardless of their vaccination status. Simmons' vaccination status wasn't noticed in the lawsuit. Well, no offense, that's no one's fucking business. That's her health. For some reason, people's medical history, I don't know why, but for some reason, people think it's acceptable to be asking other people their medical information now. I know that's the new normal, but it's very rude. I personally get super offended by it and usually end up cussing the person, but that's just me, you know. And I do have to say, on the people getting the whole jibber jab, thinking that they don't have to wear a mask, I find it fucking hilarious that, first of all, you are that weak and that you gave in, and now you don't actually get what you want. I hope that's a big red flag and hopefully a big red pill for some of these people who realize that they're not getting any of their rights back. You gave them an inch, they took a mile. Is it sinking in yet? Simmons said in the lawsuit she worked peacefully and productively in the building without a face covering and was not bothered about it until September 21st, 2021. On that date, she was approached by a supervisor who told her that she had to wear a mask in common areas of the building, according to the lawsuit. Simmons informed her supervisor that if her choice not to wear a face covering is problematic, she would happily seek employment elsewhere. According to the lawsuit, Simmons' supervisor reiterated the policy but said he didn't want Simmons to leave the protection cabinet. Simmons was reminded of the policy in an additional meeting with Human Resources and the General Counsel of the Protection Cabinet. She was told she wasn't allowed to work in the office if she didn't wear a face covering. In late September, Simmons was splitting her time between working in the office and working from home. Simmons was told she wasn't allowed to use leave time on the days she was expected to come into the office. According to the lawsuit, Simmons showed up for work without a mask multiple times after that and was told to go home. According to the lawsuit, she was reprimanded for refusing to comply. Simmons kept working from home on the days she was scheduled to do so. According to the lawsuit, she was told on October 5th that she was being suspended without pay for 3 days because she did not comply with the mandate. Well, good on her. She's actually growing some girl balls and putting her foot down, dude. Simmons alleged her 14th Amendment rights were violated. In her lawsuit, she referenced the amendment which reads, "No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor deny to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the laws." Simmons also alleged in her lawsuit, that right there, though, her knowing the Constitution and the amendments and all that, that's good on her, man. People need to brush up on that, especially nowadays. Now would definitely be the time to start brushing up on that. Simmons also alleged in her lawsuit that the state violated substantive and procedural due process. Simmons alleged Beshear and the other defendants in her lawsuit were, quote, put on notice by the Supreme Court of Kentucky, by the U.S. District Court in Kentucky, and by the General Assembly that the executive branch did not have the authority to issue an unilateral mask mandate in the Commonwealth. Simmons also wrote that a Boone County Circuit Court ruling against Beshear in June kept the governor from issuing new restrictions related to the COVID-19 safety. The Kentucky General Assembly's September special session was referenced in Simmons' lawsuit. State lawmakers passed a resolution declaring that all SARS-CoV-2 related executive orders issued by the governor and all executive actions and administrative orders, administrative regulations, or other administrative actions not specifically extended by this resolution are of no further force or effect as of the effective date of this resolution. So, fucking awesome. That's a win. It's a small win, but it's something. Gotta look on the brighter side, you know. Simmons said in her lawsuit the effects of the mask mandate have tainted her personal record, quote, despite reports that she is a good attorney and does good work. Simmons has asked a federal court to issue a temporary restraining order to keep the mask mandate from being enforced. She also asked for a permanent injunction against the mandate once the case is settled and for compensation related to the money she lost as a result of not complying with the mandate. The defendants hadn't yet filed a legal reply as of Wednesday afternoon. The case was set for a preliminary conference in Covington on Friday, according to court records. So there you have it. Fauci's weird monkey experiments. We got some people fighting back, an attorney too, so hey, that's a small little step in the right direction. If I find out any more on that case, I will let you guys know. I hope she wins, because this shit's getting stupid, and Fauci has already been flip-flopped on literally everything he's said. I mean, there's recordings out there of him saying that masks are useless, and now backtracking and saying, no, they're useful. Yeah, fuck that dude. Well, you all have a good day. That's all she wrote, and I'll catch you later.
We are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret society, opposed to secret oaths, opposed to secret proceedings, secret proceedings. No official of my administration, whether his rank is high or low, should interpret my words here tonight as an excuse to censor the news, to stifle dissent, to cover up our mistakes, or to withhold from the press and the public the facts they deserve to know.